Hi everyone, welcome to OWTV. It's me, Renathra, back again. Today I'm with Cinnabar from Team Z. Cinnabar, how you doing?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm doing great. The weather's getting a little chillier over here for me. Where are you situated?
I'm in Des Moines, Iowa right now.
Oh, in Iowa. Right, you play for Grandview?
Yeah.
Okay, cool. Well, I mean, that's a lot of games, a lot of scrims, I'm assuming.
Yeah.
We'll get into that in just a minute. But yeah, for those of you watching that don't know Cinnabar, Cinnabar, could you actually give yourself like a brief introduction, let them know?
Yeah, of course. So I'm a main sport player, obviously, if you guys have watched any of our games. I also play in collegiate. I also play in Calling All Heroes. I'm kind of all over the place.
Damn, that's a lot.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, this will be my second season of OWCS. Was on Sakura last season with my current teammate Peace. So
Cool. Yeah. I mean, how is that? Like being on Sakura last season and just making the swap to Team Z. How did that come about?
I think I watched Peace's interview a bit, and to be honest, I was part of the pug team that they were practicing with, but I mean, obviously they ended up trialing new mixed sports and picked someone else, which is okay with me. I don't really mind because, I mean, to be honest, I get to play with Peace, and he's by far one of my favorite teammates, to be honest. I love Peace.
Yeah, I mean, I think coming through the interviews, talking with him, and then you now, it seems like the team has a lot of respect for each other and people enjoy playing with each other, which is honestly like a breath of fresh air. For a lot of people, it's business is business and like they're friends and stuff. But I think always having that extra tight knit relationships, I think really help people want to like cheer for your team.
Yeah.
So yeah, like how's it been kind of playing with that new set of players with Peace and Hanbei and you all arriving? Has that been kind of like a easy thing to figure out chemistry?
Honestly, yeah. I feel like we clicked together as a team pretty well, pretty quickly, and I feel like we all vibe with each other. I think Astro said in his interview, the team just has good juju, and I would completely agree with that. Like, we may argue from time to time because that's just team
What
stuff.
team doesn't, right?
Yeah, but like as far as I know, we all love playing with each other. I love all my teammates, and I have so much fun with all of them.
Yeah, I mean, going into like a little bit deeper there, like what are comms like? Do you guys have like an internal structure for IGL, or people have certain responsibilities, or is it kind of more like free flowing?
Honestly, it's a lot more free flowing. I feel like everyone has their own spot. Obviously, as the main sport, I do primarily a lot of the ult tracking, and then occasionally I'll get my own fight plan in there, depending on what ults I know that they have or we have, if it just clicks for me. Otherwise, to be honest, most of our comms come from Astro and Ryan, probably.
Nice. All right, cool. So like it's probably interesting because you're playing on Team Z and you guys have your own structure and things you like to do there with expectations and such. But since you are playing in Calling of Heroes plus at Grandview for collegiate, there's probably a lot of things you have to acclimate to between switching around what you're playing. How has that been juggling all those responsibilities?
Honestly, it's been pretty difficult because trying to find a time to scrim for all three teams, as well as homework, school, and social life, stuff like that. It's been pretty hard to manage, but I mean, I'm doing my best. I'd say I would say I'm lacking in one of the tournaments I'm playing in. Not OWCS, of course, but yeah, it's been pretty hard to manage all three.
Yeah, I think like out of everyone I've spoken to thus far, you've been playing in the most. I can't imagine having to like scrim essentially around the clock because you're playing with so many teams, plus VOD review and like all that stuff. Like that must be a large undertaking. So I'm sending you energy. I'm hoping you make it through that alive.
Thank you so much.
But obviously, you guys played Spacestation, who are an excellent team, definitely in the upper echelon. And I wanted to kind of dive into that match with you and pick your brain. When you guys ripped off the start on Lijiang Tower, the ball comp felt competitive for you guys. Like we saw you kind of climb up there upwards of like close to 90% or higher. And yeah, coming strong off the gate on Night Market, but then swap to the Zarya comp at Control Center. I think Peace even started on May, if I recall correctly, at least the very beginning.
Yeah.
So that map seemed back and forth and a bit of a slipped lead over time. So what do you think went wrong on that map?
Honestly, for that map, maybe this is not the best to say, but I will say that I think some of us were nervous, and I think for our second match of the season, I'm not too upset about that because like early season nerves, those things happen, and silly mistakes will happen. It's really okay. I do think that we made obviously a lot of team errors that map. I know we practice it. We actually practiced with Astro a lot on Zarya, to be honest, leading up to that match, but we knew, I mean, it's Hawk on Zarya. I mean, it's just Hawk on Zarya.
Yeah. Legacy player for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, touching on the nerves things here, I think this is not an uncommon theme amongst every team. Even when I've spoken to players from the, like for example, like Liquid or whatever, like I think nerves get the best of people all the time.
Yeah, definitely.
So how's that been like as an ongoing topic for you and your guys' team? Like, do you feel, Valerie, that you guys are tackling that as like a headlong issue for the rest of the season?
Um, I wouldn't say so, to be honest. Like, honestly, I think that we all know that early season nerves are going to happen, and I don't think we're actually that much. I don't think we're worried about nerves the farther the season goes, or like the further we go into the season. Because I mean, we all know we're good players. We're all confident in ourselves and each other. So it's like we don't really have any reason to be nervous after our like two of the biggest matches we'll play this stage. Like, there's not really any reason to be nervous, you know?
Yeah, the big slate teams are kind of out the way. We are walking to DhillDucks this weekend, just getting a bit ahead of ourselves. But that's probably feeling good to be confident and moving into these later matches. I like that. Continuing on, I guess, the line with Space Station, I want to ask a bit more about comps here because Space Station was on Cassidy as opposed to like Reaper, which we've seen very prolifically now across North America and even Korea, here and there in EU. But do you think that was just like a thing they prepared for you guys, or is that like a chronic thing because he does play those heroes on hitscan? Was that something prepared specifically for Team Z, or do you think that was just like a personal decision for them?
I'm not sure if it was a preparation from them necessarily, because I feel like it was them just trying things, seeing how it would work, because I mean, it's chronic on hitscan, like especially with how strong Zarya is right now. Like, people used to think picking a hitscan you would just fall over, but with how strong Zarya is now and the bubbles and Cass's sustain with his role as well, like he really can live if like they play it really well, which obviously they did. They're a really good team. And also, I think you mentioned people picking hitscan around the regions, like even in EMEA. To be honest, I think hitscan is like fine if you just hit every shot. Like, I mean, like
easy.
Yeah. Like, I mean, if you're chronic, if you're quartz, if you're libda, like, and you're hitting every shot, like, there's really no reason to like flex off of your comfort. You know what I mean?
Yeah, that's a good point. I do think obviously Reaper has been picked a lot because of his great matchups into a lot of main tanks and stuff. Like Winston's pretty obvious, good spread into Wrecking Ball. But yeah, I think the Cassie pick was interesting, especially since Peace in his former interview said that he thinks he's very confident that when him and Ryan can play Genji and Tracer, that they look fantastic, and Cassie's probably like at least historically been pretty good into them still. So yeah, like. Marching into Esperanca then, that one seemed very tough. We saw Astro whip out the Winston here because like the Wrecking Ball ban, I presume. What do you think were the big problems on that map? Why did that kind of go the way it did?
Well, to be honest, I'll start with the Winston pick. I think personally I screwed up our draft a little bit because I was one of the main people pushing for the Sombra ban. And I think it's really obvious what hero we want to play if we're going to ban Sombra. You know what I mean? So it's like in our comms, we were talking about Freya or Sombra because we knew we wanted to protect DPS, but we also wanted to disable them. Those two were in the talks, and we ended up with Sombra. But realistically, thinking at it now, it should have just been Cole Cassidy. Like, he was playing at the map before, he was doing really well. There was really no reason to like keep him on it. You know what I mean?
That makes total sense, actually. Yeah, I think the Cassidy ban would have been great because it just looks at the surface like it's like a targeted ban, but like helps out in the matchup as well. Okay, cool. Nice. So like when I guess just minor tangent, since we're talking about draft and bans and stuff like that, is that like a team-wide conversation or does like the coach kind of lean in there, or kind of how's that work?
Well, we're mostly like a team-oriented discussion kind of thing. Like, we all talk about it between ourselves. I would say it's mainly Astra and Ryan, but though as far as like really talking a lot about the drafts and stuff, especially maps and bans. And then us other three, like me, Hanbei, Peace, will give our pieces every now and then if we feel a certain way. That's usually how we make our decision.
Cool. So like a more of a democratic system, generally speaking. Okay, nice. But yeah, like O2 now, and then we walk into the third map, and you guys are going to Atlas. So Space Station rolled out with Hog and Sim, which is, we've seen a little bit of that in Korea and even occasionally in EMEA, is definitely, I guess, unorthodox for the most part for what the meta is. But they started with a 2-0 lead, and you guys managed to nearly reverse sweep them and claw all the way back up to make it super competitive. What changed midway through for you guys to kind of start getting that confidence back and seeing results? Like, what did you guys adapt strategically?
Honestly, I don't remember if we did anything strategically like to change the way that we were playing. I think we just, at least how I took it, I felt like we just needed to boss up more as a team. Like obviously our opponents were good players, but if we're giving them too much respect, it's not gonna amount to anything. And that's what I felt like I did on that map. I just started like walking around and trying to kill Sugar Free. I'm pretty sure I first picked him like a lot. So or not a lot, but a few times.
Okay, cool. So it's less like, oh, okay, we need to adapt this way in the map, and then this is how we're gonna come back. It's just we're just as good as these guys. We could be better than these guys, and we're gonna like show that here. It's kind of that confidence boost that really turned things around.
Yeah.
Nice. Okay, cool. Yeah, they swapped off Hog in the end. Went, I think it was Hazard or something.
I think this Hawk went Winston for a life, and then he swapped back to Zarya.
Okay, the bread and butter for Hawk. Yeah. Okay, cool. But obviously, no team is going to be happy with an 0-3 loss, but and that's not the result you guys would have liked. But is there anything you and the team kind of took away from the series that you're able to apply in future matches?
Mostly draft stuff, to be honest. I honestly wasn't paying too much attention to I wouldn't say that. Like I was paying attention how we were playing as a team, but I do think that, like, again, I'm pretty confident in ourselves, and I think it's just early season nerves. Like, I think if we take away what we need to from these matches, like, to me, I'm really, like, I think the draft is really important for our team, especially in this double flex meta, because some people might have said it on their interview, but I wouldn't say we're easily banned. I mean, it's very obvious what we want to play as a team because of our players. So it's like making sure we hone our draft, our map picks, stuff like that. I feel like that will really help us later into the season.
Yeah, I think it is a blessing of a curse that like certain people are so good at the heroes that they're like well known for them, and you know that's like puts an obvious target on your back. Yeah. So adjusting the draft in the future of this season will be interesting because obviously we just had a mid-season patch drop, and things will be adjusted, and that dial will be turned up and down for certain heroes, buffs, and nerfs alike. I was kind of wondering, in your opinion, what do you think of the patch, and do you think we'll see any changes from what's been hit in the coming matches?
Honestly, I feel like this patch is really weird. I mean, I think it hits some of the characters that needed buffs and some of the characters that needed nerfs, but like I don't see, fully unbiased, I don't understand why they nerfed Genji's deflect to 10 seconds. That doesn't really make any sense. I feel like that hero wasn't that good. I don't think he really needed that. As far as the other nerfs, it's like, all right, the Ram buff was good because he's been out of the meta and he's like pretty useless. Ball nerf was fine. As far as the meta goes, honestly don't know how much it will change because they didn't hit any of the characters that were like really running the lobbies. You know what I mean? Like
they slap on the wrist for Wu Yang.
Yeah. They slap on the wrist for Wu Yang, slap on the wrist for Tracer, like 25% extra perk time. Like I don't know what that's supposed to do really to her as a character. I mean, obviously it'll have an impact, but I don't know. Reaper went untouched, and that character has been very prominent. Ball got hit a little bit, which is like, I mean, he got his ammo nerfed. I guess, like, it doesn't really do that much.
Yeah, we saw Hog buffed as well, which might impact things. I've heard in another interview that he can actually two-shot Zarya now if he hits headshots on pretty consistently, which is interesting.
Yeah, that would sound about right.
Yeah, but so from what I'm hearing, does it sound like you're convinced that this patch will change much at all? You think like Dive is still pretty strong, Reapers are still pretty strong?
Honestly, I'm struggling to even like predict what could be played because the Hog buffs, I feel like it makes the dive tanks a lot harder because he has a hook and they can't really, I mean, I don't know. Roadhog is just good into the dive tanks. And then for like Zarya Reaper, I feel like that has a good matchup into Hog. So I kind of want to see how that plays into it. But I still feel like Zarya is really strong right now. And so is Reaper.
Okay, cool. So yeah, it seems like a couple of things that are strong were minorly hit. Is it enough to make the difference? Only time will tell. Maybe Hog makes a disruptive appearance in a couple of these games. So yeah, all right. Very interesting. Very interesting.
Yeah.
Well, then I guess finally let's talk about your upcoming match against DhillDucks. I don't think it's pretentious to say that people do think this is probably the most winnable match of the season, just giving power rankings and such. What are your expectations coming into this match?
As far as expectations go, and this is no disrespect to any of the players on DhillDucks, because I do like them, but I don't think we should drop a map. I'm really hoping for a 3-0 series here. As you said, this should be one of the most winnable matches of the season. So I think if we don't do as well as I hope, then it's not necessarily a bad look for us, but it is.
Okay, all right. I like the confidence. So, do you have a message for the DhillDucks then, friends alike? Like for this weekend, they are your enemies. So, you have any words for them?
Honestly, I want to have a good match. Like I know I said like I want a 3-0, but if they take a map and it makes the game more fun, like if it makes the match more fun, then so be it. Like I'm not all about fun because I am really big into winning. Like I actually hate losing more than I like winning. So. I'm really hoping for a win, but I'm also hoping for a fun win. And I know DhillDucks are the team that will always make a game fun.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think it's a surprise that you're a hyper-competitive person, considering you're playing in 3 different circuits.
Yeah,
yeah, I don't think anyone's surprised, Cinnabar. Lastly, then, for Team Z's fans and fans of you, do you have any messages for those that are cheering you guys on and supporting you?
I would just say thank you so much for your support. Honestly, it's meant a lot to me seeing like the support that I'm getting, especially, and that my team is getting. It's super fun to like watch our matches back and see all the people typing, rooting for us. It's really fun, and it definitely adds motivation to me.
So are you saying
motivation?
So are you saying you go back and you check the Twitch chat for comments?
I don't go back and check the Twitch chat. I watch the matches and I see the Twitch chat on the side.
Okay, cool.
I
know some players do
from another POV.
I know some players definitely go back and they're like, did they notice my pop off there? Did the official broadcast mention my cool play?
Yeah.
So okay, cool. Yeah, you're not vain. You're not like that. Okay, Cinnabar, well, I really appreciate all the insight and you taking the time out of your schedule, super busy schedule at that, to talk to me and the OWTV. For everyone watching, please make sure to check us out on all of our socials, including Cinnabar's right there. You should be able to see it in the overlay. Follow us and check us out next week. Cheer for Team Z in their coming game. And yeah, I'll check everyone else tomorrow. This has been OWTV. And yeah, we're signing out. So catch you around. Bye.
Bye-bye.